The FDA recently approved a drug that can slow early onset Alzheimer's, and experts say it's the first breakthrough treatment to receive full approval in 20 years. Meredith Bruckner is at the University of Michigan, where researchers were involved in some of the clinical trials that led to that approval.
Researchers here at the University of Michigan were involved in some of the clinical trials that led up to the FDA approval of Leqembi. They say that the drug can slow the disease's progression by up to 6 months.
Judy Heidebrink is a neurologist at Michigan Medicine who worked on a phase 2 clinical trial of Leqembi.
This is really the first breakthrough in terms of a disease-modifying therapy, one that directly targets one of the key pathologies of Alzheimer's disease that's been approved based on a clinical benefit. So it's really an exciting breakthrough in the field.
She says the drug works by reducing plaque buildup in the brain.
We know it can get into the brain and remove the amyloid buildup that characterizes Alzheimer's disease. A large percent of individuals at the end of the study, their PET scan looked for all intents and purposes like someone without Alzheimer's disease. So a marked biological effect.
On average, Leqembi was able to slow the disease's progression by about 27%, or approximately 6 months. The drug is administered as a biweekly infusion, and side effects include having flu-like symptoms during the initial treatments and the potential for swelling or bleeding in the brain, which researchers say is rare. Jim Manji has been a caregiver for his wife, Kathleen, for 16 years. She was diagnosed with Alzheimer's when she was in her late 50s. He says he would have encouraged her to try it had the drug been available at the time of her diagnosis.
From my perspective, I certainly would have recommended to Kathleen, and I believe she would have agreed, let's give it a try, because it would have, frankly, for example, it would have enabled her to enjoy our daughter's wedding that much more.
Manji sold his business to take care of his wife and did so for 11 years until he felt it was no longer safe to do so.
I learned, as every caregiver and every family must learn one way or another, no one can handle this completely alone.
Manji soon dedicated his time to activism for Alzheimer's and dementia and founded a nonprofit for those living with dementia in Saline. He says one major concern with Leqembi is the cost of the drug.
I understand there are a lot of concerns. Medicare will cover it, but there'll still be a considerable copay, and that is an issue. I am blessed that I could have afforded that copay, but many, many people can't afford that copay, and that is a major problem.
Dr. Heidebrink says Leqembi could be available for patients at Michigan Medicine later this summer, and that clinical trials seeking to make further breakthroughs are ongoing. Reporting in Ann Arbor, Meredith Bruckner, CBS News, Detroit.